and our friendship blossomed into being roomies our junior year. As I got to know Kayla, I discovered many quirky qualities she has, and out of all of them, these are my favorite 3. She takes 7 years to cook you a meal, but only because she pours all her love into it, and let me tell you, it's probably the best meal you'll ever have. Number 2, she takes care of her plants like they're her babies, and that's just for her plants, so I can't even imagine how much she'll love her man and her little baby. Number 3, you can always rely on Kayla to be the one that you go to when you're having a bad day. Whether she's studying for finals, applying for dental school, or planning a wedding, she'll take time to put everything down and listen to you. Kayla. Hey girl. Stop it. I can't look at you. Okay. Thank you so much for being a friend over the past 4 years. I'm so excited for you to take on this journey with Hayden. I've seen you guys grow through so much and work through so much through this long 4-year long distance relationship. And on top of doing crazy dental school work and crazy psychology work, that's insane. I'm so impressed. I know you're going to be the most loving and caring wifey and one-day mom. Hayden and Kayla, I hope you guys have an eternity of feeding each other tacos and watching The Office. I love y'all so much, and I can't wait to third wheel with y'all in Kansas City. Please lift your glasses for the new Mr. and Mrs. Pennington.
Bring it. Hello everyone, my name is Peyton. I'm the best man here for Hayden. And one thing's for sure, this day has been a long time coming for him. Kayla, I don't know if you know how much this guy is worried about you and about this day, but it's been a lot. Ever since senior year of high school, whenever it came to the subject of Kayla, Hayden was always excited to talk about it. He knew he had a special connection with her after the first few times they hung out. And I knew they did as well because of our many long phone calls throughout our 4 years in college, where he would tell me how much he didn't know if he could wait all 4 years to marry Kayla. He would often say that they could both get married during the summer between their sophomore and junior year, and he would move down to Baylor with her while she finished school, and he would finish school online. I would tell him, as my dad would often tell me, 4 years would come and go faster than you can imagine. And sure enough, they did. We're all here today to celebrate their marriage. But like any best man should do at his best friend's wedding, I get to share a few stories about it. One thing is for sure, Hayden loves to lift weights and work out, especially while we were both in high school. At one point during our junior year, I had gone over to his house and he told me about a new diet he was starting. He said that it was full of protein and carbs so that he could bulk up and gain some muscle pretty quickly. The only problem with this diet was that it consisted entirely of Pop-Tarts and 2% milk. Mind you, he got this inspiration from a YouTube video. He would drink a full gallon of milk every 2 days and consume a box of Pop-Tarts in the same fashion. He ate other things as well, but his diet centered around those 2 food groups. And like all bad ideas, this one ended in about a week, and it's safe to say he hasn't gone back to it since. Another story involves me taking Hayden down to my grandparents' house in South Arkansas. During the time we were there, I showed Hayden a little bit of what country life was like. We shot armadillos, we killed snakes, and we performed a lot of yard work for my mama, who was very grateful. But there was one night that was the most memorable. After going to bed, I noticed the door to my room slowly opening and Hayden walking through with a flashlight. I asked what was wrong, and he said that he thought he heard someone inside the house. He also said that he thought he saw a light shine through his window. Well, like any concerned friend would be, I got up. And we walked down the long hallway of my grandparents' house. And after walking through the dark house, we didn't find anyone or anything. I asked him if he was sure he heard somebody, and he said yes, and that it sounded like a pair of shorts rubbing together. We both went back to his room, still looking for the source of this sound. As I shone my light into his room, I found out where the sound was coming from. The ceiling fan in his room was blowing a plastic bag against the jamb. As for the mysterious light that was shining into his room, turns out it was his own flashlight's reflection off the window. But then there was another night too while we were there. We went hog hunting with my cousin Brian, which Hayden had never done before. We arrived at my cousin's house around 6, where we loaded up his 4x4 and his hunting dogs. Once we arrived at the property, Brian asked Hayden if he wanted to shoot the first hog we found, and Hayden reluctantly said okay. So we started out the night by riding around in the 4x4, following my cousin's dogs as they were running around trying to find one. Several hours passed and we hadn't seen anything, but my cousin didn't waste his time because he told Hayden all about hog hunting. All about what you can do, all about what they are, where you can find them. But soon we heard the dogs barking. When my cousin thrusted the 4x4 into high gear, we raced over to where the dogs were. As we got closer, we saw the dogs had surrounded a large sow, which, for those of you who don't know, that is a girl pig. But most of you here are from Arkansas, so I hope you know. We hopped out of the 4x4 and my cousin gave Hayden the gun and told him to shoot the pig, but don't hit his hog, don't hit his dogs. Hayden stood there for what seemed like a long 30 seconds, trying to get a good bead on the pig, but he never pulled the trigger. As my cousin later told me, he thought Hayden was having an asthma attack because of the cigarettes. And there are many other stories that I could share about Hayden, like his obsession with LED lights and putting them all in his dorm room and his car, or breaking his ankle while playing laser tag when we were counselors at middle school camp, or the story about this past summer, where he was trying to find a job, but he was having trouble doing so. As he told me, he wanted a job that had good benefits and paid a little better than minimum wage. I asked him about Harps since he had worked there the previous summer, but he said he didn't want to go back to work at Harps because they didn't give their employees a big enough discount on the deli food. But regardless of all those stories, I can honestly say that Hayden is my best friend, has always been my best friend, and I just wish you both luck in your marriage. Hope you have fun in Kansas City and on your honeymoon, and I just want to raise a toast to them, to a happy marriage, and to a long life together.
Yes.
Are you here?
We just wanted to let everybody know that we are so grateful that you all came out to celebrate with us. It really means a lot.
A picture of our wedding, and just to have all you guys here supporting us means the world to us. And thank you very much. So we'll raise a glass.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Cheers. Cheers.